Be prepared. What's coming won't wait for your permission. The next few days will hit like a hammer, raw, unrelenting, and precise, because sometimes the only way to grow is to break where you're weakest. Saturn has flipped into retrograde, and whether you're braced or blind to it, your world is about to shake like never before. Imagine a storm tearing through a quiet town, ripping up old roots that no longer serve, clearing the way for new growth, but that destruction, it stings deep. That's the kind of change Saturn is forcing on you. This isn't just another cosmic event to scroll past. It's the universe's heavy hand, pushing you to face the hard truths you've been avoiding. The mask slips, the lies unravel, and the cracks you tried to hide behind become glaring holes. What doesn't break you, breaks you first. That's the brutal law at work. Miss this moment, and you risk being stuck in the same broken patterns, watching others move forward while you stay frozen in place. If you're feeling that pull, the tight grip of pressure tightening around your life, know this is your chance. Don't look away. Don't stay silent. Share the hardest lesson Saturn is forcing you to learn right now in the comments. Drop 77 to show you're stepping into this energy fully, and help spread this urgent message to others who need to hear it before it's too late. Like, subscribe, and be part of this awakening. Because after the storm settles, only the strongest will stand tall. And if you think you're driving this change, think again. Something far greater has taken the wheel, and it's heading straight for every corner of your life. Get ready. Chapter 1. False comfort is being stripped away. Here comes the part nobody wants to hear. The comfort you thought was protecting you is actually what's been keeping you stuck. And Saturn? It doesn't whisper, it strips. This retrograde is like a spiritual detox, and it's starting with everything fake that you've been leaning on for too long. False friendships, jobs that numb you, habits that feel safe but shrink your spirit. This is the season where all that is ripped away like a mask melting under fire. You might wake up one day and feel like your entire life doesn't fit you anymore. Like someone rewrote your script and forgot to tell you. That's not an accident. Saturn is cutting the ropes you didn't even know were binding you. Think of it like a house built on sand. Sure, it looks stable, but the first wave was always going to wash it away. This retrograde is that wave. Yes, it'll feel like betrayal, a friend ghosting you with no warning, a job letting you go after years of loyalty, money drying up at the worst time. But before you spiral, ask yourself this: were those things ever really solid? Or did they just feel familiar enough to keep you asleep? This is the pain that doesn't come to hurt you, it comes to wake you up. It's like a surgeon with a cold blade, cutting out what's infected, not to punish you, but to save your life. Saturn doesn't deal in gentle lessons. It forces clarity by chaos. And if you're suddenly feeling like a stranger in your own life, that's a sign you're right where you need to be. Growth starts when comfort ends. This isn't punishment, it's placement. Saturn isn't ruining your story, it's editing the lie out of the script. Chapter 2. The choice between acceptance and authenticity. This is where the road splits, and you can't walk both paths anymore. Saturn is demanding a decision. Do you want to be accepted, or do you want to be real? Because the two don't live in the same house anymore. This retrograde is exposing the quiet war between your image and your integrity. And if you've been trying to balance both, smiling when you want to scream, agreeing just to be liked, shrinking yourself so you don't make waves, you're about to feel the cost in full. It starts subtle. Maybe a sense of emptiness after people praise you, a weird sadness after posting something just for the likes, or the gnawing feeling that you're living someone else's dream, not yours. But then Saturn cranks the volume. That whisper becomes a siren. Suddenly, you can't fake it anymore. The mask gets heavy, the applause feels hollow, and your own reflection starts to haunt you. Ask yourself this: if you stripped away all approval, all validation, all applause, what's left? Would you even recognize yourself? This retrograde is your mirror, and it doesn't care about your followers or your filters. It only wants the truth. Relationships will shift. Some people will grow distant. Others might lash out when you stop performing. That's not rejection. That's release. Saturn isn't trying to destroy your social life. It's trying to detox it. Because what's ahead of you now is your real mission, the one your soul came here to fulfill. and it starts the moment you stop trying to be liked and start choosing to be you. Chapter 3. Facing your past and patterns. This is the part where time folds in on itself, and every choice you tried to outrun comes back like a shadow with a voice. Every shortcut you took, every truth you skipped, every moment you chose comfort over growth. It's all here now, waiting at your door like unpaid debts with interest. And no, this isn't some cruel punishment from above. This is Saturn, your silent witness, holding a mirror to the path you carved with your own hands. You see, Saturn doesn't forget. It doesn't move fast, but it moves true. That conversation you avoided 3 years ago, that one move you didn't make out of fear, the promise you whispered to yourself and then abandoned, these aren't just memories, they're echoes. Echoes that are now showing up in your present as delays, breakdowns, repeated cycles. And you're not cursed, you're just on replay. The same script, the same scene, different day. Ever feel like certain people or chances keep showing up and slipping away before you can grab them? That's not bad luck, it's a karmic checkpoint. Saturn's way of saying, you didn't finish this lesson, try again. And if life feels unfair right now, the real question isn't why me? It's who have I become in the silence, when no one was looking, when you thought no one would notice. Because Saturn did. And now the universe is just responding to the blueprint of your past, not to punish you, but to prepare you. This is your chance to rewrite the pattern if you have the courage to face what you once buried. Chapter 4. Ego, death, and authentic power. And just when you thought the worst was over, Saturn turns up the heat. You've faced the discomfort, you've felt the tension building, but now comes the moment that strips everything down to the bone. This isn't about discomfort anymore. This is about exposure, the kind that doesn't happen in the dark, but under full lights with everyone watching. Because Saturn doesn't whisper behind your back, it calls you out front and center. This is ego death, not the trendy kind you talk about in healing circles, the real kind, the kind where your image starts to melt in public. That curated identity, the one that says, I've got it all together, is cracking. The mask is slipping. The cracks in your confidence, the pressure you've been hiding behind busy schedules and polished words, the quiet panic behind your I'm fine, it's all leaking through. And Saturn? Saturn waits for this moment because this isn't just retrograde energy, it's a spiritual purge, a forced separation between who you've been pretending to be and who you really are underneath. It's not karma punishing, it's karma correcting. And it's not happening in private. It's happening where it stings most, publicly. You'll see it happening everywhere. Leaders crumbling, mentors being exposed, influencers falling from grace, not because they're evil, but because their persona outran their truth. And if your life isn't matching your words anymore, if what you say you are isn't showing up in how you live, then Saturn is pulling the plug. Because real power, it survives the fire. False confidence burns up quick. But what rises from the ashes, that's you, the real you. And no applause is louder than that truth standing unshaken when the ego finally dies. Chapter 5. Lessons in people and relationships. And just like that, Saturn starts speaking through the mouths of others. The people around you, they're not just background characters. They're assignments, living, breathing lessons dressed in skin, tone, silence, and shade. Every passive-aggressive comment, every sudden ghosting, every odd tension you can't explain. None of it is random. It's all part of the curriculum. And Saturn is your teacher now. This retrograde flips your relationships into diagnostics. You'll start to see who fuels your growth and who quietly fears it, who claps when you evolve and who panics when you rise. That person who used to feel safe now drains your energy. That friend who always needed you suddenly feels like an anchor around your spirit. Even family members may act out old patterns like it's scripted, because it is. Saturn's triggering your emotional programming, line by line, until you finally break the cycle. Ask yourself, are they feeding your soul or feeding off it? And when someone ghosts you, stop calling it abandonment. That's Saturn's mercy. That's release. The betrayal that stunned you, that was your alarm clock. Some of these people weren't built for the future version of you. Their contract is up. They taught the lesson. Let them go. You might feel lost in the process, like you're grieving relationships that still technically exist, but energetically they've already ended. That's real. And that disorientation, that's the detox. Saturn is pruning the garden, not to hurt you, but to stop you from watering dead roots. So the next time someone triggers you, don't spiral. Ask, what part of me is still unhealed that they just mirrored? Because in this season, everyone is playing a role in your awakening. Even the ones who walk away, especially them. Chapter 6, the urgency of now. No more hesitation. And now we arrive at Saturn's final blow. The illusion of time. That soft, tempting lie that whispers, you've still got time. You can do it later. Wait until you feel ready. But here's the truth. Saturn doesn't wait for your fear to calm down. It watches how you move while afraid. This retrograde feels like it's crawling, like you've got breathing room. But that's the trap. It's not stillness, it's a countdown. Every second you hesitate, the door narrows. Every time you say tomorrow, the universe listens and shifts the timeline accordingly. And one day you'll reach for that opportunity, that person, that calling, and it'll be gone. Not locked, not paused, gone. Saturn sends quiet signals, that name that pops into your head at 3:13 a.m., that nagging feeling that you should have started by now, that message that arrives exactly when your doubt peaks. That's not random. That's Saturn tapping the clock. And if you're still stalling, still perfecting, still getting ready, ask yourself, are you really preparing or are you just scared to leap? Here's the bitter truth. Most people don't miss their destiny because they failed. They miss it because they froze, because they thought they had time, because they were too polite with their own potential. Saturn doesn't do replays. It does receipts. And when this season passes, you won't be judged by how inspired you were. You'll be judged by what you did. So if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. This is your now. Not soft, not poetic, blunt, real. Move or lose it. Chapter 7, Identity, Death, and New Beginnings. And just when you thought you had it figured out, Saturn rips the mask right down the middle. That identity you built, the one shaped by praise, pressure, and survival, it was never you. It was armor, a costume, a polished version of yourself stitched together to fit in, to impress, to protect. But Saturn's not interested in who you've been pretending to be. It's only here for who you really are underneath it all. Right now, everything you've been clinging to, your job title, your goals, your image, even your purpose, is under review. Not gently, not with suggestions, but with a full-blown audit. And it starts with confusion. You wake up and the dream doesn't excite you. The job you once chased feels suffocating. The hustle starts to rot from the inside. That's not failure. That's Saturn flipping the mirror to show you what no longer fits. You're not broken. You're outdated. You've outgrown the version of yourself you built to survive a past you're no longer in. And now Saturn is pulling the thread. First comes boredom, then burnout, then disorientation so deep you feel like a ghost in your own skin. But that's not collapse, it's cleansing. This is identity death. It's not dramatic, it's quiet, like a snake shedding skin, like silence after a storm. You're not lazy, you're just not aligned anymore. And the harder you try to fake it, the more everything resists, because Saturn won't let you move forward with lies in your suitcase. So if you're in the in-between, where your old self is gone, but your new one hasn't arrived, don't panic. That blank space, that's the divine reset. It's not about reinvention, it's about release, about dropping every borrowed belief, every worn-out dream, every identity that no longer feels like home. You're not falling apart. You're coming home to the version of you that doesn't need applause to exist, the one that's been waiting beneath the costume all along. Chapter 8, The Messenger and the Message. And now we reach the final chapter, the one most people overlook. The message won't always come wrapped in grace. In fact, Saturn's final move in this retrograde is to hand you truth through the most uncomfortable messenger. You might hear it from someone you've judged, dismissed, or can't stand. Their life may look chaotic, their tone may be harsh, their delivery may sting, but the words, they'll hit like lightning, and not because they're kind, but because they're true. That offhand comment from a coworker, that sarcastic jab from a family member, that troll online who said you never follow through, it'll trigger you. You'll want to defend yourself, but stop and listen. Because Saturn doesn't care about who's right. It cares that you finally hear what you've been avoiding. Growth won't always come from a gentle place. Sometimes your breakthrough comes wrapped in shade, sarcasm, or even disrespect. Can you drop your ego long enough to catch the truth inside it? If so, you'll shift, not just spiritually but visibly, in how you show up, in what you allow, in who you become. Because the ones who trigger you most often reveal where you're still not free. And that brings us to the end of this powerful Saturn retrograde breakdown. If everything feels like it's falling apart, just remember, it's not destruction, it's reconstruction. Saturn isn't here to ruin you, it's here to refine you. The pressure, the pain, the truth, it's all part of your next evolution. If this message hit home, don't leave in silence. Like the video, subscribe for more deep guidance, and drop the number 77 in the comments if you're ready to rise from the wreckage stronger, clearer, and more aligned than ever before. This retrograde isn't ending you, it's unmasking you.